You hoes gather around. We want to talk to you.
I don't know who you're trying to sass for a camera, but you got the right bitch to put you in a wrong motherfucking place.
So disrespectful.
Yes.
So disrespectful.
Welcome back to Key and Carry.
Jumbo. What?
Where we key.
And we carry.
I am Troy.
I'm Damon.
And we are back with another review for Lovers and Friends, Season 2, Episode 4, titled The One-on-One.
When Lionel started talking about his ex, this is what I heard.
I went to my ex house because you're trash.
Damon, co-host, cousin, La Familia.
Got you on TM.
Yes.
Both of the couples aren't gonna make it. Personally, I just feel like neither one of them are gonna make it. Both the cracks are glaring, and it's only been this is our first solo date, and I'm like, dang, I'll make it. We'll get into why. Stay tuned. Both bachelors did 2 no-nos that you don't do on a date. So
agreed. Well, my first point, every time I see the host Cece, I don't know why, but she gives me Kiki Wyatt for some reason. Ever since we started reviewing the show, every time she comes on the screen, I see Kiki Wyatt, but I thought it was an okay episode. I did enjoy the axe throwing date just because it was different. Like, shout out to Dennis, he's been picking some really dope dates, but I did like the axe throwing date because it's another physical date. It's interesting, but like you said,
I wonder why Lonnie didn't choose this date.
I was
kind of
wondering that
because Mike chose their date, so it's like it would make sense for him to choose the date. But
right, co-host question: Have you been in my notes? Have you like not hijacked, hacked?
I haven't been in your notes, but I have been in your niggas' pants.
Why are you not laughing?
Because it's not funny.
You fucked your best cousin's husband?
No, I don't like. Oh no, never mind.
Got you. Noted. 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 So let's just get right on into episode 4, Lovers and Friends, the one-on-one. So Lionel and Mike's their date kicks off this episode. Their yoga date. Their clothing optional yoga date.
It is yoga, but you do have the option to be nude.
Fucking naked.
Now, are you getting naked? I'm getting naked.
Damn.
I'm getting naked.
Like, the way you responded, your ass might have showed up naked. Like, damn.
Naked yoga, like, it's just for kicks. You know, I like adrenaline. So yeah, I'm getting naked.
On first thought, I said, I think it would depend on if I wanted to see the other person naked. Okay. Then I would probably say yes or no. It depends. But then I thought about how they didn't bring their own mats. And you could never be too careful.
True.
So I would probably say no.
True.
But if I brought my own mat, then yes, then I would.
Did you also peep the instructor when he was like, if you're going to do nude, clothes and shoes off and no clothing past this point? I was like, what is this, a nude beach? Like, nigga, relax. Shit.
They probably have to section it off because they don't want, like, what if other people come in and they see them naked, you know?
Okay.
But did you get the feeling that they were about to do yoga in that man's apartment? When he first walked in, I saw the kitchen area. I was like,
yeah, I thought it was just a regular yoga studio, and it's his apartment.
Yeah, I was like,
oh,
it's about to happen. But then as they got into the space, I was like, oh, this must be just one of those spaces that has a kitchen.
Okay. I also put in my notes that this is where I'm starting, like you said, this is where we're starting to see like the cracks on the dates. Lionel was so goddamn uptight this date. So taking my notes for this, I had to go the girl Carrie D from America's Next Top Model Cycle 6.
Just remove that from your ass from the last panel.
Lionel, I'm gonna need you to remove that stick out of your ass. I'm just saying. Like, I know you clearly you aren't into Mike. We know why, we'll get to it, but like, homeboy, loosen up. Like,
to me, it's not even, and this is no shade to production or Markel. Hey, Markel. But I just want to know, like, why did they decide to go with Lionel? Like, I know Markel, shout out to Markel, been in the comments, he talked about how, Lionel is shy, and we can kind of see how he has more personality on the
confessional.
Yeah, in the confessionals. But I'm just like, why would you choose somebody that's camera shy? Like, I just feel like this isn't, maybe as like a friend or like, like as a supporting role, but as like a main role, I don't see why you would choose someone that's camera shy. Like, you kind of need them to perform and give you energy versus, but to me, it's even past that, it's just like, he just seems so disinterested. Like, he does not seem interested in Mike at all. Is this man straight? Like, is that the plot twist? Like, is Lionel straight? Because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. He's very like platonic with all the people,
Mike reading Lionel's flexibility.
Arms to the outside. So during the workout, I noticed Lionel wasn't as flexible. So I was really hoping that one, he can make it through the moves, but his lack of mobility, it raised a bit of a red flag in my mind. Everyone has a story, so it just kind of made me interested and wanted to know more about what his was.
That shit hit me so weak.
He was getting it, and it was poking out in the back. I was like, okay, Mike.
I put the air in my nose. Fat as hell.
Little fatty in the bag. Like,
something, a motherfucker. She got a nice body. After their yoga date, they go have like a sit down with like food and like some type of drink. But this is also where I literally started to see like Lionel is not here for Mike. He's not interested in Mike. Like, their conversation was when they started talking about like what they wanted to do in the future, like 5 years from now.
So next 5 years, I actually see myself owning my own logistics company. I've actually already started the framework of that. So that will be happening.
I really want to be a franchise owner of a restaurant. I'm not sure which one. Most of my life, I've really like been in like fast food. That's what I've been doing.
Work, bitch, boss up. But then, like, I think Lionel asked Mike about his son, and instead of, I guess, Lionel kind of engaging and making conversation, he's just like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. He's in college. That's what's up. Let's do that now."
It's just like, I do like how Mike talked about his past.
My ex broke up with me for toxic behaviors at the time I wasn't even fully aware of until I started to do some more self-work on myself. I lost my job. It took a lot longer than I thought to find a job that makes sense for me, and I was evicted from my apartment. So in terms of me being able to focus on anything outside of myself and what I need to do for my own healing, I just wasn't there.
So shout out to him for, saying like, oh, my ex broke up with me for reasons that I understand why they did, for my toxic traits that I had to take care of. And I was like, that is very mature, because,
very mature.
Some people, not to make it negative, but, some people will go through something like that and be like, oh, my ex is crazy. Oh, my ex is, and it's like, are they crazy, or did you do things for them to react in a way that would make them seem crazy, but it's rational because of the things that you're doing? So I'm glad that he acknowledged his toxic traits and trying to change them.
One thing about Mike that kind of is like, he seems to have an answer for everything.
I was gonna say
he's kind of wired almost like a robot. Yes. Where I feel like every answer or every action doesn't need like a reaction. He had an answer for everything that Lionel said, which was like, okay, but at some point I kind of felt like you might be kind of trying to feed this man BS. Like, maybe that's just like who Mike is. I could be wrong. That's just, that could be who he is, but he had an answer for everything. And I was just like, oh,
I had that same thought.
Homeboy. Okay.
Like, I was just like, I don't know. He just seems like he's on an interview. And I feel like a first date is kind of like an interview. I mean, not really, but like, you're putting on your best self.
Right.
But to me, it's a little too structured. Like you said, even the way that he talks to Lionel sometimes is just kind of like, this is giving me like pure mentor relationship, not, we're on equal footing, both, trying to see if we see interest in each other. It's more of like oh, well, you should do this. And that's he was kind of doing that during the quiche day, where he was like, oh, you're worthy of all those men. Right. And it's like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with complimenting somebody, but it's just like, oh, doesn't he know that already? Like, it's just kind of, I don't know. But yeah, he does seem a little manufactured, if you will. And I just kind of want him to loosen up a little bit. But he kind of did.
Are you a strawberry fan?
For the most part.
Would you like a strawberry?
Sure.
May I feed you a strawberry?
I mean, you fed me the quiche that one time.
You better say that. As long as you know I like feeding you.
That's all y'all need.
And then he ate the strawberry that he fed.
I peeped that line.
Like, okay. I was like, okay. Like,
so I also put in my notes that Lionel isn't ready to date.
It was the best place I ever been in, honestly. I think the person I actually was ever like really in love with. But I feel like maybe we were never meant to be together. I feel like we were meant to be friends because like now we talk every day. We do talk every day. We talk about everything.
Few moments later.
He doesn't even know I'm doing this, honestly. We talk every single day.
He's still stuck on his ex.
Very much.
The whole time he was talking about his ex, he kind of lit up. I did find it a little odd that Lionel didn't tell his ex that he signed up for a dating show.
2 red flags.
Like, what are you running from? Like, what are you hiding from?
One of the red flags for me, well, it wasn't so much a red flag until he said that, what you just said. But to me, the one red flag was that they talk every day. And I was like, okay, interesting that you talk to your ex every day. I mean, they could be friends now. It's been 2 years. I get it. But I don't know. I definitely would have had to ask, like, okay, well, what's the situation like now? Because, you know, I'm cool with people that I used to date and talk to, but I'm not, I wouldn't say I talk to them every day, you know? And then on top of that, he said that he talks to him every day and it's been 2 years, yet you're afraid to tell him that you're on this show to date. It's like, I'm like, that's a little weird for me because it's like, if it's been 2 years and y'all talk every day, then what y'all talking about? You know, you can't share that part of your life. So talked way too much about his ex.
Way too much.
Even talked about how his mom liked him. And I'm like, why would Mike want to know that? Mike would not. Nobody wants to know about your ex on a date. I promise
Nobody understands. They don't. You don't want to hear about your ex on a date.
Now, if you, I don't know, like if you want to casually mention something, even still, I probably wouldn't mention my ex just because it's not about them. It's about you. But yeah, I was like, that's a big red flag. But at least Mike knew it, you know. Moving right along.
Dennis's and Lonnie's ex throwing date. It's weird because I believe the location was called like Bad Axe, and there's a city in Michigan called Bad Axe, like right up near the thumb. Yeah. Me and Travis went for like maybe a few years ago, not a few years ago, like a decade ago for like a camping trip. But yeah, there's a Bad Axe, Michigan. Yeah, it's like up north, maybe like an 8-hour drive. Dennis planned this date, which I thought was really cool because Dennis clearly is looking for a man. He's planning these damn dates. He planned another physical activity too, which I thought was interesting. Like he said that he's competitive by nature. So I thought that like that's interesting. I'm always here for like a good competitive date.
I thought it was okay. There were definitely some red flags, like I said in the beginning. Dennis answering his phone during a date.
LA +1-337-292-6332.
Wait a minute. Who the fuck is that bitch?
Let me call you right back, okay?
I'm gonna be sleeping.
Okay, well then I'll talk to you later. All right.
Who calling us?
No one's calling us. Someone called me.
Woo, this motherfucker playing with me.
Answered the phone.
No,
didn't even have the nerve to put that shit on vibrate. And then I believe whoever called, the number was like read out loud. I was like, Dennis. On my Kim K shit, don't be fucking rude. Like, how dare you? In that goddamn purse.
You should be dedicating your time to the person that you're on that date with, unless it's an emergency. Lonnie's like, oh, well, who's texting us? And he's like, well, I'm getting, what did he say? Like, we're not getting a text. I'm getting a text.
I'm getting,
and I was just like, ooh, this is awkward. Like, awkward as fuck.
Very, very
awkward. Like, whoever was on the other end was like, well, I'm gonna be asleep. And so he was like, ooh, and I was just like,
oh, that's what he said?
Yes.
I was been trying to make out what the person on the phone said for like since I watched this damn episode. I've replayed that clip like 4 or 5 times, and I could not make out what he said.
Yeah, it was definitely giving. It was definitely giving like a situation.
Okay.
Because I don't know, when I answered my friend's phone, I'm like, "What's up?" But you like, you know, it didn't seem friendly. It seemed
platonic. It did not seem platonic.
There you go.
Kind of was funny to me when Dennis answered the phone, and it took me back to his date, the group date with D. Alani, when D was late, and he was like, "Oh, you're trying to make a first impression and you're late," and I'm like, "You're trying to make a first impression and you're answering the phone on a goddamn personal date." Like,
but I think he thinks he's the prize. No shade, but I think he thinks like, well, because he's the bachelor, he, you know, they're vying for his affection. But I'm like,
is you ever for a second get to thinking?
Just like you can deny them, they can deny you. Like it goes both ways. But especially since we know they don't know what you look like beforehand. Don't let him sabotage that drink like Kelvin sabotaged that quiche. Check out our interview. It'll be out by the time we put this out. But yeah, check out our interview with Kelvin, all about the sabotage quiche. But yeah, I also thought it was weird how Lonnie was shading D.
The conversation was very good. He had a very good, and I'm huge on conversation, so that was a huge plus for him. With other reasons why.
It was the makeup.
Oh. No.
Oh, okay.
You're on the date.
Right.
You here right now. Why are you shading somebody that's not here? That don't make no sense. Like,
and that Karma Banks came back because you see what happened next episode.
Listen,
you know we don't do a lot of shame. We don't mom shame. We don't kink shame. We don't dad shame, and we don't bottom shame.
Oh Lord.
But we hypocrite shame. Not Mr. Dennis. Not you saying you don't want no punk, but you're scared of mice.
What is your biggest fear in life?
The first part of mice.
Okay.
Like I'm petrified of rats and mice.
Explain. What do you mean?
You are petrified of mice? A fucking mouse?
When the last time you seen a mice?
No one says that, but yes.
I was like, really?
Disgusted? Okay.
Yeah.
Annoyed? Sure.
Yeah. Irritated?
Scared of a mouse?
Of a mouse?
Sir. Like,
oh. What did you think of Lonnie's rap?
I'll rap for you. There's already a song that I got out. It's called Work Too Hard. These niggas on the Grand Beat cap, putting on for the whole damn map. If you see it on my wrist, it's real. Wintertime in the summer, how you feel? Got a bank roll like my name is Lloyd. Might whip a trick, Mayweather Floyd. Got a brown skin like Gabrielle. When I fuck my hoes, I don't kiss and tell. Got a light skin like...
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga!
I thought it was pretty decent. I liked it. I did think it was interesting. He was talking about bitches. I don't know if he meant women or what's going on. I don't know. But I did hear that, and I was like, that's interesting. Like, but
real interesting. He's deliberate. He likes women.
You know what? And I'm gonna leave that right where it is. Anyway, I thought it was pretty decent. You know, I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I can rap," and then you hear them rap, and you're like,
"Yeah."
But this, I thought it was pretty decent.
I agree. At first, I agree. He had metaphors and punchlines. He had a nice flow. Also, I was like, "Okay, Mr. Lonnie," but did you see how turned off Dennis got when Lonnie mentioned that he didn't have his passport?
I'm not okay. So I have my passport, but I wouldn't be like, "Ew, you don't have your passport." Like I would be like, "Okay, like, where do you want to travel?" Because some people like they don't travel, they don't get their passport until they travel somewhere. Right. I don't think most people don't just get a passport just to get it. Like they get it to go somewhere. And so, you know, I mean, you just never know what people have going on. Some people can't afford to travel. That's real. And I mean, honestly, no shade, Dennis, but I'm sure you're not you're not wealthy. Like
I said the same thing. It's the first date. Unless you about to take me out the fucking country within the next 24 hours, I don't think passport should be relevant.
He's 26, right? Lonnie's only 26, 25.
20. I think he might have said he was 26.
Okay. I mean, you just never know what people have going on. Like some people have to pay for student loans. Some people have to, you know, it's like they may not have traveled, but they have other things, you know. So it was a little what can I say? It was shallow. There you go. Shallow. But you know,
I mean, and we're also kind of like in a the situation, but too many countries ain't letting Americans in right now. So
that is true. That is true.
But I did have just one more point or just one more note, and I don't know why this shit is so funny to me, but Lonnie's confessional, he was like, "Yeah, the date was cool. I had fun. I'm still waiting to get that number so we can go on another date." I was like, "You still haven't got this man number?"
I don't know
Like,
how it works.
He chose you and you didn't get his number like after the mixer or even after the group date. Like when he chose you to go on the one-on-one, like y'all didn't exchange numbers. So
I think it's all producer driven.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure he could have asked for his number and got it, but I'm sure that they're probably going through producers to get on these dates. But yeah, I thought that was also kind of weird. I also feel like it's weird that this isn't being, I mean, it is kind of being led by the host, but the hosts aren't there in person. Like, I'm like, are they working remote too? Because like, it's like, they're just like in this, they're not in the scenes. And I feel like it would look a little better if they were kind of there, leading these things, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
Since you brought this up, since you said the dates might be like producer driven, did you also notice that Mike and I think Lonnie asked the same question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, not y'all not being original enough to ask the person you're on a date with, like a more original question. I mean, they did have like more original questions, like, but I was like, not y'all asking the same question on the same episode. No shade, but
what question would you ask on a date? Before we go,
what's your credit score? No, I'm just playing. No, Natalie Nunn. Look at me being real Natalie Nunn. No,
give a fuck what a nigga got if he ain't spending it. No, I'm just playing.
Are you family oriented? Like, are you close with your family? What's your relationship with your family?
That's a good question.
And what about you?
I would say, I guess just the interesting question I would want to know is like, what's your self-care methods? Like, what do you do to like decompress when you're stressed out or just when you need to take care of yourself? What do you do? Because I just feel like that kind of speaks to how you take care of yourself and how, it also kind of sheds light into like, not your mental health, but just kind of where your head is at and like how you take care of yourself. So yeah, I probably would have asked something about self-care, things like that.
Good question.
No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I think that was the episode. We got a sneak peek into what's coming up. And child, is a mess.
A mess.
I wonder, was it producer orchestrated or did Dennis really decide to do this? And the producers were like, okay, we just gonna go with it. Or did they think like, oh, we should, you not feeling these two dudes? All right, well, maybe we can, because they brought in somebody that I think it would have been more interesting if they brought in somebody from the mixer, like somebody else. But they brought the person that they brought back. I just thought it was interesting because like, I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I'm definitely gagging, as Markel said I would. So. But yeah.
This has been our review for season 2, episode 4 of Lovers and Friends, the one-on-one.
Yes.
Before we go, I just want to take a minute or a moment to just shout out all the producers of the shows that we review, all the way from G Status, The Shit We Do for Love, Hot Boys, Web Life, Lovers and Friends, any other show that I forgot, I'm sorry, but we just want to thank you guys for the continued support. Feel free to check out our Instagram, kii&carry. We're also trying to get back into like film reviews. So if you have like a film that you would want us to review or check out, drop it in the comment below. And also let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know what you thought of the dates.
We'll definitely have questions, not in the description, but tagged in the comments. So,
Well, thank you for keying and carrying with us, people. But I'm Troy.
I'm Damon.
And this is Key and Carry, where we key
and we carry.
And we will see y'all in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.